Where do you need to slow down in order to make faster progress? This is the question I asked myself yesterday evening, and this morning I made this video on TikTok and I decided to share my reflection with you as well. Hello, my name is Veronica, aka Vespertiliu. I am an Italian comic book author, tarot and oracle deck creator, and your spooky art teacher.
It's me again, yours truly.
This is a reflection about the relationship between how I treat my art and how I treat my life, and of how I can take inspiration from my artistic expression to express myself in all of the other areas of my life. So I really hope you enjoyed this little improvised video. In the meantime, you will see me draw in my sketchbook, and with that said, let's begin. Where do you need to slow down in order to make faster progress? I've never put my makeup on camera, so I really hope this goes well. This is the question I got when I pulled this card as the bottom of the deck for my evening reading. The Knight of Swords is about swiftness, rapid action, mental action, ambition, approach, but also impulsiveness. Most of the time, we think that in order to make faster progress, we need to work harder and faster. And in my experience, that proved to be kind of true in a way, meaning that all of the things I've been able to achieve in these past 2 years were possible because at some point I kind of decided I just needed to act. If you've been following me for a while, you know how I care for imperfection. For my craft in particular, which is drawing, basically. I'm an illustrator and a comic artist, but I'm also a poet and I'm also a writer. Getting stuck because of perfectionism is what kept me in the same place for a very long time. So when I decided a couple of years ago that I would have started to draw exclusively directly pen on paper in my sketchbooks, I slowly, which is the key of all of this, became much better in my craft. And by the time I realized how much I had improved, I realized how quick that process went. And this was because I allowed myself to go very slow and do one drawing at a time, pen on paper, and take my time for that. You kind of figured out what you need to do to make faster progress. Well, that's not actually true, because I realized what I would apply in my art and in my craft, which is doing things slowly and allowing myself to be imperfect and taking my time with the things I would do, would not apply to the way I went through my life, would not apply to my work life, would not apply to my daily routine, would not apply to my relationships. Everything else was all extremely fast-paced. The moments I would spend with my art were the only moments where I would really take my time and slow down, and that made me improve super quickly. But I totally neglected doing that with the rest of my life, basically. A month ago, my new graphic novel came out and I won an important award at the most important comic convention here in Italy. That was kind of a full circle moment for many reasons, because I won with a comic book that I made for the sake of imperfection. I won with a comic book I made purposely to allow myself to experiment and to write a story, letting my character telling me the story while I was drawing that story. And right after I won, I immediately felt two distinct things. One was great satisfaction, the belief that I could do anything I wanted. And on the other hand, there was this excruciating exhaustion. A month went by and I tried my best to get back on track with many things. But then I realized that the truth was that I had never applied what I had applied to my art, to my life, which was the reason why I wasn't making any progress on that matter. And by progress, I mean I wasn't taking care of my health, no mentally or physically. I wasn't taking care of my relationships. I wasn't taking care of my time and of my passions and my hobbies. I was in a big reading slump, for instance. And so a month went by where I tried to meditate, I tried to write in my journals, and I tried to wake up early in the morning. But I realized now that I was kind of rushing the process. I was impatient. I wouldn't give myself the proper time. If there wasn't much time, I would not allow myself to stretch my time. And the funniest part, which is also the most embarrassing part, is that most of my time was lost scrolling on my phone. I've done the artist way 3 times and I finished it twice, the first time and last time I did it. And every time I go through that path, through that process, I learn something new and a different part of myself gets unblocked. I didn't even say anything out loud. Yesterday, out of the blue, here on TikTok, I start seeing one after the other all TikToks about the morning pages and about the artist's way. That's a sign. I also had started doing my morning pages right after the very first time in smaller notebooks. It's not too overwhelming to feel, and I don't have to spend too much time filling the pages. I had found this Moleskine bullet journal in this XL size. I was saving this for something special. I was like, you know what? Maybe I can use it. And then I get introduced for the first time to the morning pages. And so I was like, that's it. That's what I have to do. All of those videos about the morning pages paired with the question from the Knight of Swords. So where do you need to slow down in order to make faster progress? Those two things intertwined and something clicked within me. And I realized I need to give the same devotion and grace and unlimited time to my life and not only to my art. I need to treat my life as an artwork of mine. So in this video, not only I wanted to share this information because I think it can be beneficial to other people as well, but this is also a way of taking accountability. In the past 2 years, my priority has been my creative expression in some capacity in function of work and career. Then I tried to use my creative expression to fix my life. I realized that expressing myself creatively to me means being aware of existing. And being aware of existing is just being, is embodying the I am, experiencing and going through life. And so from now on, I'll try my best to treat my life as an artwork of mine. Today, I did this sketch right after my morning pages. This is not a sketch, it's actually a drawing, but it's in my sketchbook and it's one of my pen on paper drawings. And right after I finished it, it is inspired by my little candle holder with the swan. I wrote this phrase, which is, "The forbidden juice is at your disposal," which I think fits the theme. And so where do you need to slow down in order to make faster progress? And the answer to me is life. This makes sense only if you watched the rest of the video. I'm very glad I said this at the very end of it. Also, first time doing my makeup on video, very proud of myself. Let me know what you think. Bye.